Ever wondered how a civilization that began nearly 5,000 years ago has left such a profound impact on the world? As we journey back in time, we find ourselves in the cradle of one of humanity's greatest epics, ancient Egypt, a land of mystery and marvel, where the story begins with the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt under one ruler. This unity set the stage for the establishment of the pharaoh's rule, an era marked by divine kingship and monumental architectural feats. It was during this period that the world witnessed the construction of the pyramids, a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. But the wonders of Egypt were not confined to stone alone. This civilization was also a beacon of advancements in fields like mathematics and astronomy, illuminating the path for future generations. The achievements of this golden age set the stage for a saga that would resonate through the millennia, the saga of Moses. But what about the man who, according to religious texts, challenged the divine authority of the pharaohs and led his people to freedom? Enter Moses, a man whose story is woven deeply into the tapestry of ancient Egypt's history. Born into an Israelite family during a time of great oppression, he was set adrift in a basket on the Nile to escape a cruel fate decreed by the pharaoh. The currents of fate led him to the pharaoh's daughter, who raised him as her own in the heart of Egypt's power. Growing up amidst the grandeur of the pharaoh's court, Moses was groomed in the ways of royalty, yet his roots were never forgotten. A burning bush, a divine revelation, and Moses found himself torn between his royal upbringing and the plight of his brethren. With newfound resolve, he stood against the pharaoh, demanding the freedom of his people. Plagues descended on the land, rivers turned to blood, and darkness fell, according to the biblical narrative. In the face of such calamities, the pharaoh finally bent. Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, a mass exodus that echoed through the corridors of time. Their departure marked not just their liberation, but also a shift in the dynamics of ancient Egypt. And so Moses, a man raised as an Egyptian prince, led a revolt against the pharaoh, marking a turning point in the history of ancient Egypt. But how did this grand civilization, which had once held the world in awe, meet its downfall? It's a question that has puzzled historians for centuries. The decline of ancient Egypt was not a sudden event, but a gradual process that spanned centuries. The once omnipotent pharaoh's power began to wane, undermined by internal strife, corruption, and a series of poor harvests that led to widespread famine. Then came the outside threats. The Persians, with their vast empire and powerful armies, swept into Egypt, toppling the weakened pharaoh and imposing their own rule. But this was not the end. The Romans, a rising power in the Mediterranean, saw an opportunity and moved in. They conquered Egypt, making it a province of their expanding empire. Yet it wasn't just the political and military upheaval that signaled the end of ancient Egypt. The loss of Egyptian culture and identity played a significant part. As foreign powers took control, they brought with them their own customs and beliefs. Over time, these new influences began to overshadow and eventually replace the ancient traditions of the Egyptians. Thus, the civilization that had once stood tall amidst the sands of time eventually succumbed to the winds of change.